Welcome to Virtual Lunch. It is so good to be back with everybody again. It's kind of weird now that we're only doing it once a month. It feels like a long time. And then last month we did our networking instead of having our usual traditional virtual lunch. So it's been quite a while since we've been together in this platform. So welcome back. It's good to see you. Go ahead and type your name or your introduction in the comments, and just let us know where you're joining in from. It's always good to know that. I'm flying solo today for the first time. Alan started a new job last month. My husband Alan has always been behind the scenes as my backstage producer, so things will be a little bit different this time since I'm going it on my own. But we do have he actually typed in all the links for us last night, so hopefully we'll be able to put all those up as we go along. But anyway, just go ahead, type your comments in, and we're going to go ahead and get started. We got a great guest coming up here in just a few minutes, but I do want to go through just a few of these links and tidbits like we always do. First one is that the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus is coming back next year, but it won't be your grandparents' circus because there will be no animals this time around. It's very different. They're doing auditions, and so they've had like 1,000 people audition. They're only going to have 75 performers, so it'll be interesting. But what they're saying is that they're going to have digital content, and it's going to be a 360-degree experience. So that'll be interesting. And then what I'm most curious about is this quote where they said that will break down barriers between performers and attendees. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to make it more of an interactive experience. So I think that'll be cool. So I see Mel is here from Classic Exhibits in Portland. And Dave is here from Tive. Welcome. Good to have you here. So the next one I want to share, this one, and you may have seen this video online. It's really cute. Iceland is doing a very clever travel promotion this summer, and they call it Outhorse Your Email. And if you've not seen this, you have to go see this. It is, and this actually gives you a little bit of behind the scenes too of how they did it. But they actually have horses and giant keyboards, and they will type your emails for you, so you can take a vacation and not check your email because your horse will be typing and responding for you. It's just hilarious. So anyway, it's like, I love how some traditional, very, regular, standard companies and organizations are starting to think outside the box and do things that are more fun and different. I actually saw something just this week that said that especially the Gen Zs respect companies more if they have a sense of humor. So I thought that was really interesting. So on that vein, our next link is the Savannah Bananas baseball team. These guys are hilarious. And I am so sad that I didn't learn about them sooner, because they're traveling this summer, and they actually were here in Kansas City like in April or something, and they played a game here, and I missed it because I just found out about them a few weeks ago. But it's this baseball team in Savannah, Georgia, and they have gone all in on the fun factor. They play what they call banana ball. So there's different rules. So if you are a avid baseball fan, my apologies in advance, because they are not traditional in any sense of the word. But they are really funny because it's a 2-hour time limit, and there's different rules that they play with and stuff. But they have granny cheerleaders, and they have, sometimes the players, like the pitcher, will come out on stilts, and I mean, just hysterical. And of course, they're the Savannah Bananas, so you can imagine their uniforms are bright yellow. So this article for the New York Times, and you may or may not be able to read it without subscription, I don't know, but if you can't, then here is the YouTube link. And like I said, Alan put all these up in LinkedIn. So if you're watching on LinkedIn, you're set. If you're on YouTube, I'll get those put up in there a little bit later. But anyway, it's just really fun. And the whole thing, if you follow, I started following the owner, Jesse Cole, on LinkedIn, and he does little 1-minute videos with all different kinds of tips of things like, innovate before you have to, and, just stuff like that. So it's interesting to know the backstory behind the baseball team and how it really, it's a very radical business decision that he made. So that's just kind of fun. Chuck is here from Elite Expo. Welcome, Chuck. It's good to have you back. We've missed you. You haven't been with us for quite a while. So good to have you back. All right. So let's see. Next up. Next time you are in Vegas, they have a new digital art museum. And I can't remember if it's open yet or if it's going to open later this summer, but it's on the Vegas Strip. And so you may remember a while back, I shared the Van Gogh interactive exhibit, which, by the way, is here in Kansas City this summer. So Alan and I have that on our list to do here in a few weeks. But it's a digital art experience. And so again, I'm trying to give you some really innovative ideas and ways that you can, how can you take these things and really change up how you do things in your booth? And at a trade show, and creating, anybody that knows me for any length of time knows I'm all about experiential. So how can you make your exhibit and your trade show more experiential? So, check out all of these different ideas of these different innovative companies. And speaking of experiential, this is a fundraising gala. And it was really interesting the way they did it. It was held, and it was on a stage. And so everybody came in, and it was basically a blank canvas, and they literally created the event around the attendees after they were seated. So it's just kind of, again, it's an interesting way to build that experience and to involve the audience in not exactly co-creation, but just letting them be a part and feel like they're a part of the whole experience. So that one's an interesting behind the scenes story too. John is here. Good to see you, John. All right, let's see what we have. Oh, and then our last couple of fun links, I'll call them. We all know trade shows are a great place to discover new things. I mean, that was the first place I got to ride a Segway. First time I got to see Google Glass, even though that didn't go anywhere, but it is something that's leading to the future. But there's so many different things we get to experience for the first time at a trade show. So I thought I would just share. We have some food and drink trends that are coming. So the first one is from, let's see, I think this one is from the summer. This is from the Summer Fancy Food Show. So they have things like vegan cheese and all kinds of things with pancakes. I guess pancakes are a big trend right now. And then shrubs, which, if you're not familiar, shrubs are a vinegar-based beverage. So, and then there's some other things in this article too, but some interesting food trends coming out of that. And then the next one is, this show is on my bucket list. I would love to go to this show someday, work with them. The Sweets and Snacks Expo has a huge long page of their award showcase. And so they have all kinds of things like carrot bacon. I'm not signing on for that, partly because I'm allergic to carrots, but I'm sorry. Carrots and bacon should not be in the same sentence in my book. But anyway, they have cereal milk ice cream, gum with vitamins, because everybody needs that. And this one may be the winner. Reese's peanut butter cups filled with potato chips. So you may want to go check that one out and see if there's any of those snacks that you want to add to your next shopping list. All right. So, getting just a little bit more serious here. I just wanted to point out, I know those of you that have checked in so far, I know you probably are aware of this, but just to remind anybody, in case they haven't heard, the Invisible Industry Tour is going on right now, sponsored by the National Trade Show Alliance and a number of other industry organizations. So they kicked off on June 1st. They've already been to Vegas as well. They have a schedule coming up. So if you go to this link, it's got the kind of the outline of where the tour will be. But it's, if you haven't seen the video, it's really, really cool. This trailer looks just amazing, and they're crossing the country to build awareness for our industry. So it's a really, really cool thing. So all right, I think that is it for our link. So I'm going to bring our guest on stage and introduce him. So Lou Bortone has been a pioneer and thought leader in the online video space since the launch of YouTube in 2005. He's helped thousands of entrepreneurs and companies create and leverage online video to build their brands and dramatically grow their revenues. Prior to his industry-leading work in online video marketing, Lou spent over 20 years as a marketing executive in the television and entertainment industries, including stints as national promotion manager for E! Entertainment Television and senior vice president of marketing for Fox Family Worldwide in Los Angeles. Lou is a popular speaker, author, and ghostwriter of 6 business books. He's also the author of Video Marketing Rules: How to Win in a World Gone Video. So, Lou, welcome so much to Virtual Lunch.
Thank you so much. And by the way, I have gum with vitamins.
Oh,
Like in your,
well, you're on a leading trend, Lou.
I guess so.
For anybody who happens to be listening to this on the podcast and not seeing the first part of the video, you'll have to go check out the full version to get what the gum with vitamins is all about.
Right.
Well, Lou, thank you so much for being here. I know you are my video guru. You are who I look to for what's new and what's coming, and you know how to do things right. So
thank you.
Let's start out a little bit and talk about how do you create more compelling video? I mean, because we all know video marketing is where things are going. I mean, that's what Google and all the search engines are prioritizing video. How can we be better about creating video that actually works, I guess?
Yeah, there are a few ways, and probably the main thing is to think about it in terms of storytelling, telling a story, because even a 15-second video can be a quick little story with a beginning, middle, and end. So you want to engage folks by, basically turning, not just a promo, but kind of turn it into a story or make it more personal and engaging. Another way to really just make it more compelling is to make sure that you know exactly what you want the viewer to do at the end of the video. So really kind of reverse engineer the video. What's the goal of the video, and how are you going to get the viewer to do what you want them to do? And that could be, come to an event or get on my calendar or download a freebie, whatever it may be. You want to sort of say, what do I want the viewer to do? And then how do I get them to do that?
That's a really good point, because I think a lot of times we have a tendency to just create this really cool video, and we kind of forget that there has to be a point to it at the end. Not just that, not that the entertainment alone isn't bad, but when it's a business marketing video, you've got to be leading people somewhere. So let's talk a little bit. And I know you are no stranger to trade shows. You've spent your time on the trade show floor. So what are some ideas you have for, pre, at, and post show? I mean, because there's ways to use video in all three of those stages.
Yeah. And back in the day, when I was at E! and various companies in LA, it was all about who had the biggest video screen or video monitor or video wall. But these days, it's really more about, not so much mass marketing as personalized marketing and personalized video. So I would say, especially with the exhibit business, but really across any industry, the more you can engage one-on-one with folks, the better off you'll be. So I do a sort of a combination of like, okay, well, here's the mass market video and here's what we put on YouTube and Facebook. But at the same time, you can also do videos. And what I like to do when I go to events or trade shows is if there are specific people who I want to connect with or specific people I want to meet, I may send them a video email before the show.
Hmm.
So I'll use Loom or SendSpark or Warm Welcome. There's a whole bunch of really affordable video email tools to send them a personal message. And that way they're already sort of like, oh yeah, you're the guy that sent me the video. That was really cool. And obviously at the event, you can connect with them, maybe get them on a video and do a quick testimonial or a quick, hey, we're both here together. So sort of a video selfie. So you kind of have a record of having been with them. And then
Yeah.
after the show, same thing with follow-up. Hey, it was great to meet you at the show. Not just an email, like, okay, if I come back with a pile of business cards, I'm not just gonna put them in my database and blast email them. I'm gonna take each one individually and do a personal video message. And really it takes like 20, 30 seconds. So I may do 10 of those in half an hour. And now I've made personal outreach with video.
Yeah, I love that idea. I actually have SendSpark as well. I don't use it as much as I probably should, but it is
Hmm.
really cool. And the great thing about it is, like you said, you can personalize it just for that person. And then I don't know with all of them, but at least with that one, there's actually a button where they can click to send back a video
Right.
reply to you. And that's
And
been
yeah,
really cool too.
I've been able to get a lot of conversations going, and that's the whole
Mhm.
thing is, kind of get that conversation going and engage them outside the show. And the nice thing about tools like that is they can reply not only in video, but they can also reply via text or audio. So whatever they're most
Right.
comfortable with, they basically get back to you and then, do a whole back and forth. And I've gotten personal one-on-one clients that way just because people will say, oh my gosh, of all the folks I met at the show, you're the only one that actually sent me an email, a video email.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. There's not that much it's not being used that much already, so it is a good way to stand out. So, also as far as doing a pre-show, you know, you come from the movie and entertainment world. So, I'm thinking
Hmm.
like, the pre-show could definitely be kind of correlated to the idea of a movie trailer. Have you seen anybody
Yeah.
do some really great ideas along that line?
It's really a matter of sort of, what's the hook and how do you kind of get them engaged and interested and to sort of create a curiosity gap. Like, oh my God, when I go to the show, I have to visit the such and such booth because I heard they were going to do blah, blah, blah. So you're sort of creating pre-industry buzz. Way, way, way long ago when I worked at E, um, somehow we got, and I don't really know, well, I guess E Hollywood, we got the actual Batmobile at the booth.
Oh,
So we were sending out all these little, this was sort of pre-video, but we were sending all these little kind of things like, oh, you got to come by and see, what we've got, come and visit the Bat Cave. So we made the whole booth a Bat Cave and the Batmobile was sort of the showcase piece of it.
oh, too funny.
So,
Yeah.
whatever you can do to bring, your booth or that experiential piece to life before, during, after is really the best way to do it.
Well, and so talk about, because it's not like you mentioned earlier that you can do a really great video in 15 seconds. So it's
Hmm.
not always about doing these big, elaborate Hollywood style productions. Sometimes it is the little short, snackable videos. So
Yep.
how do you know what kind of video is appropriate for what, or should you always do a mix, or
Hmm.
how do you figure that out?
It really depends on the audience, and some of it is demographics. I mean, I used to say, "Oh, TikTok's just for kids. I'm not going to fool around with that." But it's gotten so big, and it has a billion users that you can't really ignore it. So you want to find out, what are your audience's preferred platforms. And there are certain ones that sort of like, well, you can't go wrong with YouTube. It seems like everybody's there.
Right.
But whether or not you're going to use, Instagram versus TikTok versus LinkedIn really depends on your audience. And speaking of LinkedIn, I think it's a really underutilized platform when it comes to video.
I agree. I agree. And I think it's interesting because one thing I have noticed is LinkedIn is actually, well, Twitter as well, I guess, but they're about the only platforms that don't mind you linking out to something else. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a video that you upload straight to LinkedIn. You can link out to a YouTube video and they're still
Yeah.
okay with that.
Right.
So, that's one thing I've learned is it doesn't always, like, as opposed to Facebook, you always have to upload the video straight there because if you
Hmm.
put a YouTube link, they won't share it.
Yeah, and as you know, with LinkedIn, well, with anything, like with the platform that we're using here, Streamyard, you can go live to LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, etc., simultaneously, so you have a better chance of reaching your audience.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's one thing I love about StreamYard is, we're streaming in Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube all at the same time. So I see Savannah has joined us. Welcome, Savannah. All right. So let's talk about, we talked a lot about some strategies and some things that you could do. What are some of the mistakes that you see people doing with their, I mean, I know there's a long list, but what are some of the video things that people, maybe they're doing just because they don't realize that they shouldn't be doing it that way?
Right. Well, the first mistake is just not doing it at all, or thinking
Well,
that it's too complicated. So, and the other mistake is not being afraid to make mistakes, because with technology, there are always going to be a few glitches here and there, but people are pretty understanding about that. But I think the mistake is like looking and saying like, oh, this is the way, this is the one way to do video, and that's not the case. I mean, really, it has as much flexibility as your imagination allows. So knowing that there's more than one way to create video, whether it's short video or mobile video or vertical video like what's on TikTok, just knowing that there are tons of ways to do videos. You don't have to get sort of pigeonholed into one style. And if you try different styles, you'll find what I call your video sweet spot. Like, okay, this is a good platform for me and my audience. And when you find that intersection of like, okay, I like doing this and my audience likes seeing it, then that's sort of your fallback video style.
Well, and you've done a lot of really fun videos over the years. Let's see, you've been The Godfather, you've been Moses, I believe.
Well, that's the other thing that's, a mistake is like, again, thinking. And originally when I started doing video, I'm like, okay, this is video, I have to be serious. And then my friends were kind of like, you're a total goofball. Why don't you just goof around? So when I started to inject some of my personality and not be afraid to, sort of make a fool of myself, that's when things kind of clicked. So you have to just, be able to put your personality into it, have a little fun with it. And like I tell folks, it's only video. I mean, it's not like, we're going for open heart surgery or something.
Well, and like you said, if you're doing just these quick little shorts, it's like, it's a lot easier to do something fun with that than it is, if you're doing something that's more like long lasting or more, I think you call it pillar content, the really solid content, then yes, you need it to look different. But yeah, just doing quick little social media videos, why not have some fun with it? Back to, we were talking earlier, the Savannah Bananas. I mean, obviously they have a ton of fun with their events and their videos. So
yeah. And that's the other distinction that I like to make that you sort of alluded to, which is if you're doing a quick video or if you're doing a keeper video. So quick video, okay, I'm just going to do this quickie on my iPhone, or I'm just going to do something for TikTok or something really relatively quick and simple. I won't say disposable, but just quick, fun, easy. Keeper video, like, okay, we're going to put a new video, excuse me, on my homepage. So we need to put some thought into this. This is going to have some shelf life. This is going to be an evergreen video. So those keeper videos, you want to put some more thought and work into.
Definitely. And maybe a little higher production value as well in those rather than the quickies. So give us some more ideas. And I know you've got a list of 99 video ideas, but what are you thinking, especially from the trade show framework? What are some ideas that you want to share of video types?
Oh my gosh, there's so many different ways to do it. I mean, obviously the quick short form video like TikTok or Instagram, or now YouTube as YouTube Shorts, these tend to be 30 to 60-second videos that you could just do kind of on the fly. So anytime you have an idea or you have a thought, or like I just did one this morning to my folks saying, hey, it's the at the time we're recording this, it's the first half of the year is over. Let's start to plan the second half. So when my friend comes over, I'm going to sit down and do a football background and do a halftime sort of like football
Oh,
analysis
yeah.
kind of thingy. So just, have fun with it. And whenever you want to, whenever you get an idea, just jump in and do it, because, videos sort of become low hanging fruit. It's not difficult to do. You've got Zoom, you've got things like StreamYard, you've got your phone. So it doesn't require, a lot of pre-production to kind of jump in and just do the video. And the other thing is that, people often say, well, I'm not sure what to talk about. And then again, with that, like 99 video ideas, just like, okay, talk about a lesson a mentor taught you, or talk about your favorite quote, or talk about your favorite movie, or why you liked or didn't like Top Gun sequels, things like that. So I try to also look at, the news and pop culture and what's happening, that's not too depressing, and talk about that.
Well, and like on the show floor, one thing that I always try to do, it's like you said, it's much easier now that we all carry a camera in our pockets. But
Hmm.
walking the show floor and just filming different exhibits and doing kind of a recap of different things, kind of like we shared about the food that was
Hmm.
innovated at some of the recent shows. And so, just walking around and kind of being a news reporter and sharing
Yeah.
those little recaps. And I know Mel's here from Classic Exhibits. Kevin, his cohort at
Hmm.
Classic, did a walk around tour at a show last year, and that was really helpful to be able, if you can't attend in person, it's great to be able to see it from somebody else's eyes, of like actually literally walking the show floor and seeing how things look and
Hmm.
how many people are there and that kind of thing. So,
And that's
um,
a great idea too, because there may be, in the days of COVID, people who can't or don't want to attend live. So if you just grab your phone and say, okay, me and Chuck are going to go around and find who has the best food at the, which booth has the best or most unique food, and just kind of going around and having fun with it. And so stuff like that, just, whatever pops into your head, don't be afraid to try it.
yeah, exactly. I think that sometimes is what holds people back, is because
Hmm.
they are thinking that, oh, I have to do something really professional or really,
Hmm.
really Hollywood style or something. And they forget that it's okay to just experiment. So like you said, some
Hmm.
videos can be, what do you call it, disposable.
Yeah, yeah, and not everything's going to work, but that's okay, because there are things like, oh, I'm going to do such and such, and people are going to love it, and then it just falls flat. It's like, well, I gave it a shot, and the next one will probably be better.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Well, any other really cool tools or things, tidbits that you want to share with us as far as
Hmm.
making our trade show videos better?
Right. Well, obviously we talked a little bit about Loom, which is a very simple video email device. Anything where you can kind of capture that on the fly. There are a lot of things coming out now where it makes it very simple to get testimonials, like Video Ask and things like that. Because I know sometimes folks are hesitant to do testimonials, but the show floor is such a great place to find somebody that you don't see that often, and pull them
True.
aside for a quick testimonial. So things like Video Ask, even Send Spark and Warm Welcome, you can do your video testimonials that way.
Yeah, like you said, there's new tools popping up all the time. It seems like it just
Hmm.
endless video tools and video creation ideas. So,
Yep.
I
There's
want to
another
share.
one called, oh, I'm sorry, I was just going to pop in with one
Oh
other
no,
one
that's okay.
called
Go ahead.
um, another video tool called Momento.
Hmm.
Momento app.momento.com. And I like that one because it will collect video testimonials for you, or just videos in general. Like we did a big, somebody who had been ill, we did a big happy birthday, and we got like 7 or 8 different people, and it creates the montage for them. So you're sending somebody not
Huh.
just one video or testimonial, but like, oh my God, here's 10 people all singing happy birthday to me. So,
That is awesome. I have not heard of that one yet. I'll have to go check that one out. So, well, like I shared earlier, Lou is a never ending source of great ideas and great resources. So, if you want to connect with him, his address is loubortone.com. And you have that 99, uh,
right,
that
the
list of
freebie.
99 videos. Yeah.
Yep. So if you're looking for ideas or what to talk about on your next video, you can just go to loubortone.com/9999.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Savannah says she really likes the idea of a video ask. Yeah, the video testimonials, I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that, I have to keep reminding myself, like, oh my God, it's social proof is so important. And if you are getting a video testimonial, even if it's just a quick 20-second something or other, those are really powerful as social proof.
And like you said, what better place to do that than on the trade show floor where everybody's already there?
Hmm.
You don't have to chase them down. So,
Exactly.
Lou, thank you so much for being here with us for virtual lunch. I think you've given us a ton of ideas to try, and I'll be anxious to see what everybody uses and start sharing in social media for their next trade show.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Thank you. We will see
Thank you.
you next time. Thanks, Lou.
Bye-bye.